All right, my brother Grandmaster Caz, the grandest of them all. Outside of DJ Hollywood and the Love Bug Starsky, there weren't many who could DJ and MC simultaneously and perform both skill sets equally well. The Grandmaster Caz was one of them. Caz has been DJing since 1975. His first partner was one of the first Puerto Rican DJs, the Disco Wiz. As an MC, Caz formed the Mighty Force with Mighty Mike, Whipper Whip, Dada Rock, the Force 5, the Notorious 2 with JDL, all before earning the title of the captain of the Cold Crush Brothers. The Cold Crush Brothers were the template for the MC crew in the early 1980s. And after Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 left New York due to their international success from a few records in the early 80s, an empty spot was left in the Bronx. And the Cold Crush Brothers filled that spot nicely. The live show was where the Cold Crush Brothers dominated. Energy and showmanship were the backbone of their live show, but harmonizing was at the center. While there were some good harmonizing MCs on the scene, the CC4, as they were known, will wipe the floor with all of them. While many crews based their harmonizing on the melodies from television shows and things of that nature, Caz took things a step further, basing his routines on the melodies from the classic rock records that he listened to on WABC as a kid. Songs like Glenn Campbell's Rhinestone Cowboy, Billy Joe's Stiletto, even Toto's Georgie Porgy were converted into hip-hop form, to quote the great Rakim. Wild Style, hip-hop's first motion picture, which some call a documentary because nobody was a character. Everybody portrayed what they did in the movie. Lost my place. It was a vehicle to display Caz to those outside of the 5 boroughs who didn't know about his mighty pen. The legendary Yvette rhyme was one that showcased his humor, his wit, and the poetic genius of the Grandmaster Caz. And it's one of the first times that he caught me with the Yvette rhyme. How many blocks you run before you stop to breathe? 26 blocks. Then he stopped to breathe. Caz, somebody's coming. Say, yeah, me. I mean, the cleverness in the rhyme, again, it made me say, okay, I can do something different with my pen. And that's, again, me in Virginia, seeing Wild Style on VHS and hearing this story, just rewinding it. This is the illest story rhyme ever. So those who came up in NYC and frequented Harlem World, T Connection, the Ecstasy Garage, Webster Ave, PAL, places like that, they already knew a Caz, and they knew that he kept an arsenal of diss rhymes locked and loaded for hecklers. I remember I was watching a tape, and there's a chick in the crowd, and Caz said, "Oh, we got Eddie Murphy in the crowd," and it's a female. He's snapping on the female. He snapped on hecklers. Caz is, one of the things about being an MC, the humor element has got to be there, and Caz, on the mic and off the mic, possesses the humor element. I've heard Caz say that there's no way to get around his era. And it's true. If you trace your favorite MC, the name always come back, whether it's Will Smith, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, the list goes on. Those who are revered as greats in the game always mention Caz as one of their earliest inspirations. And he recently casually dropped one of the greatest quotes. And I told him, he's got it on a t-shirt. I got to get it. He said, hip-hop didn't invent anything. It reinvented everything. I mean, that's so true and so concise. As the young people say, facts. The Grandmaster Caz, GMC.
Put your hands together for Grandmaster Caz.
Oh my God!
The Cold Crush, the Cold Crush, the Cold Crush. Sing along. Come on, the Cold Crush. The Cold Crush. Sing along. A little louder.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, hey, Quan. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and salute to all our inductees here today. I'm grateful for this honor. It's called the Legacy Award. That means your ass been around a long time. And as far as our culture is concerned, it's 40-some-odd years old, and that's not old, and that's really not long when you think about time. and in a continuum. So we had a lot more history to make as far as this culture is concerned. But the fact that we've taken a step forward, and with efforts like, and people like Johan and Jeremy and others who've decided that this culture is important enough that it needs to be documented, that it needs to be archived, because years later from now, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, you look back and you see the word hip-hop and you see something totally different from the hip-hop that we created at its inception. So it's important that hip-hop, the foundation of hip-hop, the genesis of hip-hop is documented, and that the forefathers, the founders, the pioneers of this culture are recognized as such. Johan talked about jazz and other genres of music whose original artists go unsung sometimes throughout their entire lives. And maybe at some point they're recognized afterwards. But the fact that we getting flowers while we're here is a great deal and a testament. It's a testament not only to us, but to the power of hip-hop. I mean, if hip-hop has done anything in the last 45 years, it has united this globe in a way that nothing else has. There's nothing that has affected this planet in the last 45 years bigger than hip-hop other than the internet. Okay? Maybe a little global warming as well, but that's for another day. But like I said, I jumped into this culture head first. I lived, you could walk to the place that I lived in back in 1973 when this party happened. I lived on Phelan Place, which is the first street off Sedgwick Avenue when you heading up out of the west side of the Bronx. So I caught the fever early. I was a resident of this area, so anything that went on around here, we got full, knowledge of it. Now, Herc will tell you himself, a lot of people that claim to have been here in this room or at this party is lying. Okay? You're lying. You dead-ass lying. You weren't. And most of them, if you ask them how old they are, that'll tell you that they weren't here. Okay? We call those lioneers. Okay? That's another phrase I coined a few days. It was very necessary. Okay? Lioneers. Lying about their input in the culture, whereas everybody's accounted for. Everybody knows what they did and what they didn't do. Just take your place, because everybody has a place in this culture. I want to thank Jeremy again, the entire staff of the Hip-Hop Museum pop-up in D.C. This is an effort that I support. I supported it because I saw something real in it. Thank you again, Jeremy. Thank you, everybody here. I want to thank our councilwoman, Vanessa Gibson, who's a councilwoman of the 16th District. She's all this area, the High Bridge area, she's responsible for. She's the phone call that I made to get this room acquired. We had to go to the actual owner of the building, who once realized what was going on, spoke to Jeremy. It was smooth sailing, and that's why we're here today. Another thing about this building is a landmark. It's the birthplace of hip-hop for a lot of us in here. And the people who are respected in hip-hop all cite this place as the birthplace of hip-hop. Other DJs who are considered pioneers in their own right still point to this place as the birthplace of hip-hop. It's our story, and we sticking to it. All right? Through my work with Deborah Harris and the Hush Hip Hop Sightseeing Tours, I've brung over 2 million people to 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. So, thanks again, and thank you, my brother Russell Peters. Come on, give it up for Russell. We need people like Russell. People who are influential in other fields and other genres and in other ways, but their passion for our culture, for the culture of hip-hop, transcends other genres. So now there's comedians who love hip-hop because Russell loves hip-hop. You know what I mean? There's people It's curators and people who deal in archiving our culture because of people like Johan and people like Jeremy and those kind of efforts that were put forward. So thank you, and thank you. One love.
I'll break your hip, make it hop to the hippie hospital. You slip, make it stop, crash a gravy, my shitter. Hit your bang with a bang. This Marcus picking boogie, spit a rhythm while you boogie the beat. You like what you hear? This is not a test. I'm MCing to the beat. And me, myself, and I ain't gotta try to move your feet.
Guys, I just want to say one more thing. Like my brother Grand Wizzard Theodore, throughout this pandemic, we've had to come up with a lot of creative ways to stay creative, stay busy, keep our minds occupied, and just not go fucking bonkers sitting in our houses separated from each other. So a lot of creative things have come from those efforts. One for me, I'm sitting around in my crib like just smoking weed. Like what can we do? What can I do? I try to DJ on Instagram. They keep cutting me off. Some people they let play all day and anything they want, and some people they cut off. So I said, forget y'all. I'll wait for Twitch. So I'm gonna be on Twitch next. But this is one of the things that I came up with. This is my company is called Caz Tees. Basically, I started because I think that our era should be included in the information age through clothing. A lot of artists have clothing and clothing brands and this and that, but you never seen nobody put a shirt with the Treacherous 3 on it, you know what I mean, or the Funky 4 on it, you know what I mean, or nothing like that. So that was my thing. So that's what Caz Tees is all about. I brought these gift bags today for all of the winners. This is our logo, our tagline. We all we got. We all we got. Okay? And you can apply that to any sensibility. So my site is gmce.veryinkpressive.com. That's where you can get all your Grandmaster Caz merch, tees, hats, mask. I got a ladies line coming called Lady Casanova. Okay? I got thongs and stuff for y'all. So and that'll be coming for us soon. So once again, salute to all our winners.